You say you are now trying to navigate how best to sell, or who is best to sell to. What have you discovered so far?
The first one is the operational efficiency of the business. So we want to see how do we mitigate costs, how do we cut down costs, how do we improve our business efficiency. That is the first side. Secondly, we want to improve our numbers. So the sales activity, how much time we sell, all of this, anything related to these numbers. The third one, we are talking about innovations. So because one of the key value of YDS is that innovation is a key value.
Hi guys, welcome to Buildapalooza, a budgepod.com series for discussing all the frenzies, excitement, and wildness of building a business, whatever business, by everyday young people in Nigeria. I'm your host, Kelechi. Today I have a very interesting person as guest, Khalifah Labiru. He's the CEO of YDS, and YDS is one of the most thriving e-commerce, or like they call it, click and mortar industry, commerce industry in Nigeria, in Abuja precisely. Thank you for joining me, Khalifah.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Kelechi.
Yes, keep it at Kelechi.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about commerce, right? Okay. We're here to talk about e-commerce, commerce. As you know, or you might have heard, the industry in Nigeria is valued at 8.53 billion as of 2024, this year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very, very important industry. It can drive a lot of our revenues.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons we're talking about this. We want to learn from your experience, your exposure. How has it been like so far building commerce, leading commerce in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much once again. Thank you for having me. It has not been an easy ride, as you know, especially with the current economic situation of the country. Businesses are really having a tough time at the moment, but as usual, YDS is actually thriving. Yeah.
Okay, good. How long has YDS been so far?
We've been in existence for 7 years now, since 2017. Yeah.
Yes, I understand that you started leading YDS maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, but you started a while ago. You've been in the company for a while. I would like you to paint a picture of where you were before being CEO, you know, and where you are right now, leading YDS. When I say you, I'm talking about YDS. Where was YDS before you started leading it? Where is it right now?
Okay, I've been part of YDS right from inception. We are part of the pioneer staff that we had. I started as an inventory assistant, and then I saw myself become the inventory manager. I handled the sales and marketing department. I was into procurement, human resources management before I was given the title of Chief Operating Officer. So, but last year, April 2023, I became the CEO of YDS Online.
You've seen it all and done it all. Okay, so tell us, like I said, how was commerce then?
Okay.
You know, how is commerce now? How are you thriving now compared to how you were before? What are maybe we should just break it down a bit more. Okay. What are the challenges you face right now building this business compared to what it was, you know, say 2-3 years ago?
Okay, so I feel the first challenge that we have is that, especially for those that are into fashion business, actually the fashion industry happens to be at the list of customers' priority ladder, right? So when it comes to customers, there are other industries that they prioritize, especially the food industry, because everybody has to eat. Our own is usually perceived as a luxury. So you have to meet other needs before you actually start talking about fashion and stuff. So as of last 2 or 3 years, things were quite different. As you all know now, the inflation rate has gone up. The spending value of Naira, people are actually going through so much, and then which actually affects their spending power. So having been into the luxury industry, as our customers perceive it, it actually affects our sales performance, which is something that now we are trying to navigate and then see how we can tap into different segment of the market.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that it is more difficult to sell now?
Exactly. It is much more difficult to sell now as it was 2 to 3 years ago.
Nigerians don't have money.
Nigerians don't have money. Like, the funny thing is that I saw a statistics yesterday that was talking about GDP per capita.
Okay.
So as of 2013, the GDP per capita of Nigeria was $3. So, but 10 years, it has declined by 50%. So now we are talking about 1,750, which is about 50% less than it was before.
Okay.
So which simply translates the spending power of Nigerians at the moment. So it means we do have a problem.
You said $3. I wonder per capita.
Yes.
No, I think it is more.
$3,000.
3,000. You meant
Yes,
okay?
yeah.
Awesome. I think I remember that it can't be three if it is three.
No, $3,000. Yeah.
Okay. So it's interesting to see that it's not been easy. You say you are now trying to navigate how best to sell, or who is best to sell to. What have you discovered so far?
Okay, so first of all, there is this strategy map that I have for YDS in 2024 that actually discuss about 4 questions that I really want to focus on. So the first one is the operational efficiency of the business. So we want to see how do we mitigate costs, how do we cut down costs, how do we improve our business efficiency. That is the first side. Secondly, we want to improve our numbers. So the sales activity, how much time we sell, all of this, anything related to these numbers. The third one, we are talking about innovations. So because one of the key value of YDS is that innovation is a key value of YDS. So what we do is we usually adapt to the situation that we are in. I can take you a little back to 2020, 2021 when COVID happened. So everybody knew YDS to be fashion accessories company, but then during the COVID, when there was complete lockdown, and then most of our products are actually imported. So the border was closed, and then there was no mobility within Nigeria. So what we did was that we leveraged on our platform, and then we just switched to groceries. So because as at that time, that was something that is in need. And then we actually just switched to that. We adapt to the current situation. And then that was what actually helped us. I've known a lot of our competitors, people that we've started together, that folded towards that side. So YDS, we are very adaptable, which is why even with this current economic situation that we are in the country, we are tapping into, we have a lot of plans on ground, which some we have already initiated, we're actually working on, and then some we have them on the pipeline.
So I am hearing something that I think is very critical for people who want to venture into commerce, right? Flexibility, adaptability.
Exactly.
So that's like a key value for anyone who wants to run.
It is key value actually. You cannot survive without flexibility. If you look at all these global companies, Samsung and the rest, all of them did not start with their niche product. So at some point, they realized what the market is, and then what the customers need, and then they had to adjust to actually give the customers what they need.
Okay, awesome. You talked about driving down cost as part of the strategies.
Yes.
How are you doing this? How can you drive down costs in an environment that requires you to spend more, especially with the devaluation of Naira, and mostly because your supply chain is foreign?
Yeah. So the first thing we did was to integrate more technology into our system. So technology helps a lot in terms of reducing cost, because something that requires you to have 3 or 4 staff, with technology you can just automate the process, you can automate the system, it is cheaper, and then it will help you scale through. Secondly, there is this strategy that I adopted this year, since last year. I started it last year, but it was full force this year, which is the lean strategy. So now YDS, we just see things from a binary scope. So it's either value or waste. So anything that do not have much value, so it's
no time for there is no opportunity for fence.
No.
Fencing. Oh wow.
Exactly. So that helps cut down the cost that we have, and then with the constant increase in the cost of operations, so there are things which we have to we kept on navigating, and then try to cut it down so that it will not consume the whole company.
So how do we tie this to efficiency? I think that was the second thing you said.
Yeah.
Drive down cost, increase efficiency.
Yes.
Do you have other insights on how people building in commerce in Nigeria can improve efficiency?
Okay, so like I said, the technology integration is something that actually improves efficiency. By, I don't want to give a false number, but I can say by a high margin. So with humans comes error, right? So but with technology, it mitigates that. So whenever the chances of the accuracy of having a result with technology is way has can supersede the human factor. So which is why if you actually want to improve your operational efficiency, so the adoption of technology is a must. So that helps us in improving the efficiency of the business. Secondly, is the use of data. So like I said, since we are adopting lean strategy, so what we do is that we always have a data, we have a standard. So we have a figure which is mostly numeric. So we have a figure that we actually look on. For example, let's say the time lead, the lead time of order processing. Let's say how long does it take for us to complete an order? So how do we improve that efficiency? So now that we have data, is to work on achieving that result. Okay. So without having a goal, a threshold, something to actually aim at, so you will just be dabbling and then be working on things that are not really necessary. Yeah. So but having a clear goal of what you need, and then you know what the outcome is, the deliverables, and then how do you attend it? It's improve the overall efficiency.
Talking about data,
yes.
Now data is very exciting. We've heard that it's the new oil, rather.
It is.
What do you picture? What data have you gathered so far that is probably going to drive your next year? I wonder if this is something that is in view now. Yeah. Do you have any? What is the expectation in this commerce industry right now, based on the things that have been that we currently experience, and based on the data that you might have seen? Mm-hmm. What should people building e-commerce expect in a few months, a few years?
Sorry, I didn't get the
based on data, right? Okay. Do you have any data that maybe tells you what to expect in this industry in a few years? Maybe that's probably long, in a few months. Do you have any data that says, right now we have discovered that if we continue to do this way, right, something will change based on maybe regulation, for example. We know that government closed the borders. They might open it based on this and that and that. And so we're expecting this kind of outcome in a certain period of time, at a certain period of time. So just basically to help people who might be looking to build in commerce understand, gain some insight about when to build.
Okay. If
they need to build, or maybe just run away.
So most of the data that I have is mostly internal, some things that will help us internally, but and then I don't want to, there are some things which I can't just openly disclose here. Yeah. But the list the list that I can give is that so one of the projects that we have on our pipeline is the groceries that we want to bring back. So there's this data that actually suggests that Nigerian population is going to increase by 2024. So which means the market size
2024 this year.
This year. So
in this economy, people are going to increase.
Yes, the data is the Nigerian population is actually increasing, which expands the market size.
Okay.
So and then with market size comes opportunity. Okay. So which is something that we are trying we're actually diving into, and I think the project is going to kickstart by second quarter, inshallah.
I think that you were very specific when you mentioned grocery.
Yes.
Right. You didn't mention fashion.
Yes.
Why is that?
So like I mentioned earlier, people's priority is changing.
Okay.
So when you're hungry, you don't think about shoes and bags, right? So something which is constant is food. Nobody can survive without food. So which is why, and then even if you look at the growth rate of the CGR of groceries, you see that it is higher than, I think, arguably any other industry at the moment. So, which is why we are not leaving the fashion the fashion aspect, but what we are looking at is to tap into the new market.
Okay.
Yeah, that is actually what we're
So you're saying people who want to do commerce now should most likely be looking into groceries, because venturing into things like fashion might require them to target maybe people from the what are they called now? Top level guys, middle level class.
So one of the funny thing about Nigeria at the moment is that the middle class is hugely
shrinking.
overstretched.
Okay.
Yes. So now we don't actually have middle class as it is. So it's
where do you fall? Where do you fall?
Actually, I think I'm part of the middle class, the lower middle class, to be honest, because the middle class is overly stretched. So now it's either the 1% that we always talk about, the elite, or you are part of
that middle class.
Yes,
so the middle class is now, the lower class is now the new middle class. Like
yes.
everyone is now in that middle class. So maybe you just take us down, all of us down to the lower class.
Not you, but me and myself.
Okay, so it's interesting. I'm very interested in fashion.
Yeah.
I'm looking to do a few things in fashion soon enough. And I obviously have at the back of my head the kinds of people to target.
Yeah.
Right? You've called them like the 1%.
Yeah.
We might not be, they might not also be like the 1%. They might be people from that middle class, but maybe like the top guys.
Yeah.
Right? You said that you are still interested in fashion.
Yeah.
100%. What strategies do you think that people like me looking to do a few things in fashion and any other industry that isn't food, isn't grocery, what strategies do you think we need to adopt in order to, get that top level middle class people you talked about?
Okay, so not just fashion. I believe in business in general. Whatever you want to do is first to identify the audience that you have. Who are you targeting? And then understand what the problem or what the opportunity is, because you can't just most of the time one of the business mistake that business owners make is that sometimes you think of yourself rather than actually the business. So you would think if you are in need of something, that is the reality of the world, and then you are just one out of the whole world. So first is to identify a problem or an opportunity. And then you know who your target audience are, because your target audience actually plays a vital role on the way you even structure the business as a whole.
Yeah.
So you can't. There is this popular saying that if you are speaking to everybody, you are speaking to nobody. Oh. Exactly. So now you have to center your attention to who you are targeting. In YDS, there is this strategy that I put in place, I think last 2 years, which actually translates to 30% increase in our sales. So the strategy was just simple. We adopted the STP strategy. So first is segmentation, targeting, and then positioning. So because we have a large pool of customer audience, so what we do is that we segment these customers, and then each customer base, we actually have a specific for that segment. So, and then we target them, and then we position the brand in such a way that shapes their view about the business.
That sounds interesting. I hope people are really learning. Let's talk a bit about technology. Okay. You have talked about the advantage of technology both for driving down costs and increasing efficiency.
That's correct.
Let's delve into it.
Okay.
What would I need to build? What would the audience need to build? What kind of technologies would they need in order to drive down costs or increase efficiency?
Okay. So I don't want to speak to businesses in general. So this is my own personal opinion.
Okay.
So whatever you are doing, there has to be a reason as to why you are doing what you are doing. So what are you building? Okay, what is your problem? Let's say I have a cluster operational system. So that is the problem that I'm currently facing. So what I need, or maybe if I am an engineer, or maybe somebody that builds the technology, is to actually identify a problem that we are trying to
So
solve.
we just to give this context, we
Okay.
are speaking to people building in commerce.
Okay.
Right, people who are building in commerce. For example, what advice will you give to those in Aba? Now they have 24 hours light and
Okay.
they do a lot of commerce.
Yeah.
Right. What kind of technologies can they adopt in order to increase sales, reduce costs, become more efficient?
So, like I said, every business has its own unique challenges.
Okay.
Right. So, which is why the solution that you are looking for has to be specific to your own problem.
Okay.
So now, if you have a headache, it doesn't matter the number of dosage, like the stomach ache dosage that you take. It's not actually going to solve that problem. So what I'm saying is that identify the problem that you have.
Okay.
So now, if I'm in Aba and then I have 50 staff that do this, and that, and then the salary bill, the wage bill is high, which is obviously reflecting on the margin that I have. So now I want to improve profitability of the business. So how do I do that? Is to find a technology that will reduce the wage bill that I have.
Okay.
Right. So what is my process? What is the operational process? What are the job process that I have in the company? So then we find something which is going to replace that human.
Okay,
factor.
but we agree. Whatever the problem is, we both agree that technology is important.
Very
for building
important.
commerce.
I think in 2024 you can't survive a business without technology.
Awesome. It's exciting. I mean, technology is key for growing any business,
It is,
right?
yeah.
And for someone like me who is interested in commerce, like I said before,
Yeah.
and who is also in technology, I'm starting to think about what technologies I would need to develop my business. Let's focus a bit about the North. Let's talk about the North.
Okay.
YDS is in Abuja.
Yeah.
And your audience is national, yeah?
Yes, national. Yeah.
Okay, great. How can people in Kano is another major city that deals in commerce, and I honestly want to see people in Kano do more. So when I see people sell stuff like this,
Yeah.
just do business around in Abuja, I usually like to ask, are you from Kano?
Yeah.
And the majority of them are from Kano.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What can people, and I'm saying this because not everyone would need to start with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can people in Kano do better? People who are, making all the leather and a bunch of those handcrafted stuff. We might also want to talk about people that are in Ondo making the Ankara, the Adire. I don't know if it's Ankara, Adire. What can more localized people, do, or maybe the government in those areas do to help these people come up a bit to make sure that their craft is recognized, and then it can be sold on YDS, for example, or in an international market.
Okay, so now I have two things to say here. So first of all, that is where e-commerce comes in place. So which is something that actually helps a lot. So it actually connects people. So now the location, no matter where you are with the use of e-commerce, you can actually it gives you a lot of platform. Like it gives you a wider range of the market that you're actually looking for. So it connects people with the right products that they have. And then secondly, it also brings me back to a project that we have in place in YDS. So where we call it the third party, and then sometimes or maybe the Afrodelia that we used to call it internally. So what we do is that we leverage on our platform, because we have over the years we have built a lot of audience now. So what we do is that we are leveraging on that platform. We give audience to this customer, to these vendors. So we are exposing their products to the wider range of customers that we have in the country, right? So now, do you get the point that I'm trying to make?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we are using YDS platform to sell other people's products. So like we are providing an e-marketplace for vendors to try to, because as long as you have something which is qualitative and stuff, your product deserves to be in the market.
I would definitely, yes. You talked about quality.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about quality. How do you determine what is quality? And my concern is not just about people doing those things and getting them to stores.
Yeah.
Right? It's in building quality stuff, because Nigerians, typically those who can pay, people in the top, say 30% of the middle class, and then the 1% people look to buy things that are quality, and we want made in Nigeria stuff to, be sellable enough.
Yeah.
Is there any way you guys are helping to maybe educate people about QA, quality?
Yeah,
Do you have any quality assurance guidelines?
Yes.
How can these things actually be effectively implemented for people who are in the local
that class? Yeah. So something that so these people have the craft,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So but sometimes. And then I'm not just talking about Kano, I'm talking about the indigenous products that we have in the country. So Nigerians are talented. If you look at the world, if you look at everywhere that the Nigerians go, you see that they mostly prosper. So sometimes it is the environment that actually limits that potential that we have. So in terms of the quality that we are talking about, YDS, we pride ourselves when it comes to quality. So people go to YDS because they know they are getting genuine, they are getting qualitative products. So what we do is that now that we want to onboard these indigenous vendors, local vendors, as we call it, we have a guideline. And sometimes these are things that these people do not even know of. So which is why for any vendor that we have, we always have an SLA, and then there's always there are guidelines that actually shape the products that we have. So which sometimes point out to them that, okay, if I'm taking these 2 ideas, I have to be extra careful, I have to do this, that, and that. And that is what actually boosts their revenues. And then you see, because other people, some people don't care about the brand. So what they care is the quality. What do they get out of the product? So they don't mind. Usually the fees is not usually a problem. So, but what them is just the quality. So, and then we have this mindset that as long as it is a Nigerian product, so then it is inferior. But now people are exactly. So, but now people are actually seeing it as it is. That okay, you can actually have a quality product within the country. So, and that is something that we are put on ourselves to put these vendors and put these manufacturers on, like on a guide, and then they are now delivering. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I think that the last thing that we are going to just talk in order to try and round up would be supply chain.
Yeah.
Supply chain. As I know that to build a business, whatever business, supply is critical.
Very important. Yeah.
How can we? The question would mostly be how we can leverage the Nigerian market for our supply, especially in times like this where we have high demand for forex, but then little supply. Buying things from outside of Nigeria is crazy.
It is.
You can hardly even get USD to do that, and Naira can hardly do that for you.
Yeah.
So how can people building in this space navigate supply chain? How possible is it? Maybe I should also add how the African Free Trade Zone arrangements is going, how that has, helped commerce. Is it possible to get supply from some of these countries? I wonder how you guys are navigating it. This doesn't also have to come from just your experience, how you're doing it, but how you're thinking about it.
Okay, I think supply chain is very important for every business, right? And which I think is a key component. You can't succeed without having a very strong chain, right? Right now, we are collaborating with our competitors, people that we are in the same industry, but we have a stronger supply chain than they do, because we actually have a structure not just in Nigeria, we also have one in the UK. So what we do is we collaborate with other businesses, and then we try to get them supply of their goods at even a cost price. So because of our strong chain, we are able to actually help other businesses to get that. And I think, which is very, very important. You can't have a business. Supply chain is a key aspect of a business. You need to identify and then find how to.
Okay, so what I am hearing is collaboration.
Collaboration is
We've
very
talked
important.
about a bunch of things for people who want to come into commerce. We've talked about the fact that they need technology. Now I'm hearing collaboration. We've also talked about how to drive down costs and improve efficiency, how all of these things put together can help navigate this market. I think there are a lot of things to talk about, but we don't have a lot of time to do that. I'll most likely drag you back here some other time, and I hope you would come. We'll probably talk more data then, give more insights then, and hopefully people watching us can get all the insights they need for building their business. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today. We're excited about all of the things that I'm sure you're excited about, all the things you've learned. We hope you can put this in your ideas and in your business and grow. That's the essence of the show. Until next time, thank you. Bye.